So, you decided to conclude the story of Bardock. Very well, let's do this. Play my
I tried to swim, but forgot that I was black. Body went limp. Now why the fuck would I do that? If only I had floaty.
Alright, so where we last left off, Bardock had defeated Frieza due to a misinterpreted wish from the Dragon Balls. Raditz had wished for him to be a legendary Super Saiyan. Porunga had taken it literally. And yeah, you can guess how that went for Frieza. Bardock already being bloodlusted towards Frieza, that feeling has been multiplied by like 1,000. And now Bulma was making her way to Bardock to try and calm him down. Mind you, this isn't Super Broly's legendary transformation. This is Z Broly's, so Bardock is somewhat in there still. If it had been Super Broly's variation, Bulma would have been mauled. Anyways, back to the story. Bulma made her way to Bardock, slowly approaching him, not knowing if her Bardock was still in there. Bardock's cackling came to a stop once he felt a tiny hand on his bicep. He grunted, slowly turning his head, seeing Bulma, but in the flash also saw his dead wife, Gine, in her. Bulma's strong character reminded him of Gine. Maybe that's why he fell for her so easily. It was like falling for Gine all over again. Bardock blinked a few times before realizing he was shrinking, the green aura dispersing from his body. He returned to his base. He was surprised that he didn't feel tired at all, perks of being a legendary Super Saiyan, I guess. Another thing he noticed, he's a lot stronger in his base than he was before he fought Frieza. Even Z Broly got stronger as he fought. Maybe not at the rate of Super Broly, but it was good enough. Anyways, without even having to say a word, Bardock and Bulma embraced each other. It was finally over. He had avenged his son and wife. Frieza was gone by his hand. Bardock can finally move on, and so after celebrating, there were Raditz and Tights, they made their way back home. In this timeline, Dende wasn't needed because Kami was brought back and now young again. Oddly enough, instead of original King Piccolo, Piccolo Jr., who we know as Piccolo, was brought back instead. So we basically have two Piccolos. One wears purple while the other one wears white. Once they were in the atmosphere, Earth, Kami immediately talked to them telepathically. Kami warned them about it being under attack. Kami explained that it was by some machine men. Yes, the Red Hermit Army was destroyed, but that wasn't the only evil scientists. There are more scientists out there that want to rule the world. Dr. Wheelo, now out of hiding, believes he is ready to face the world and conquer it with his Wheelo droids. Having seen the battles of Bardock, he based his Wheelo droids 100 times that of Bardock's last battle, and Wheelo himself 1,000 times that. Now having the perfect body in his eyes, he not only had the mind but also the power to rule the entire world. Bardock's power level was around 120,000 when he was in Ikari form when he killed Piccolo. So each droid had a power level of 12 million, while Wheelo had a power level of 120 million. It's kind of funny that Wheelo could have faced Frieza. Anyways, when Bardock and Raditz landed, they made quick work of the Wheelo droids, though Raditz even in his grade 8 form was struggling, though Bardock had him covered. Once all the Wheelo bots were dealt with, Wheelo himself made an appearance. He got up the usual villain monologue, spouting out nonsense of him ruling the world. Bardock was hearing none of it. Bardock now has a power level of 30 million in base, roared skipping Ikari form, bursting straight into Super Saiyan. Yeah, he's access to the regular Super Saiyan like Z Broly. Now having a power level of 1.5 billion, Bardock raised a single hand and one-shots Wheelo right then and there. Yeah, this wasn't Goku. And just like that, the Android saga was over. And with that, everybody celebrated an easy victory. Raditz was more than impressed with Bardock's new power, though he also felt a little jealous of him. To think one wish gave his little brother all of his power, he brushes this thought aside for now. But during the years to come, this would eat at him. During the 8-year time skip, Raditz trained hard, non-stop in the time chamber, the gravity chamber room, anything to catch up to his little brother. even achieved Super Saiyan in all their grades, including Super Saiyan 2. Bardock, on the other hand, was getting busy with his wife, Bulma, having a child named Roman. Yeah, he was naming the child after clothing. He trained every now and then, but he was really focusing on raising his son Roman. And after the time skip, Raditz and Kakarot heard there was a tournament coming soon, and Raditz was a little too excited. For good reason, though. He's gotten a lot stronger since Wheelo. His motivation and somewhat jealousy towards his brother, it truly fueled his strength. And this tournament was the way to show him that he wasn't the weak Raditz like before. It has been 8 years. Bardock, Roman, and Bulma arrived at the tournament. And not shortly after, Tights would arrive as well with a younger child than Roman, named Beta. Bulma would talk with Tights, asking where Raditz was. Tights would say she didn't know, but then just then, 3 figures would arrive. Bardock's eyes would widen, seeing Spopovich, Hiyamu, but also seeing Raditz with an M on his forehead. Raditz just smirked at his brother. That's right, Babidi got to him. Feeling the increase of power, feeling the jealousy, the negative thoughts of doubt, all of it, Babidi took advantage of it. Like a devil on Raditz's shoulder, he whispered about power that surpassed Kakarot's, who we know as Bardock. And well, Raditz fell for a bait. And now we have Majin Raditz. Bardock can instantly feel there was something wrong with his son. He can feel the negative energy radiating off of him. Raditz just smirked and sneered before walking off. Bardock called out for his son, but Raditz just ignored him. Now wasn't time to talk, Raditz thought. Beta and Roman were behind Bardock, scared of their uncle and father. This only served to piss off Bardock even more. What was going on? Alright, let's be honest. We don't want to hear about these tournament matches. So, let's skip to the juicy parts, right? Well, actually, before we get there, Beta and Roman do not have access to Super Saiyan. They basically live like normal humans. I'm kidding. Roman is essentially a fusion between Gohan and Trunks, at least personality-wise, and I guess appearance. I kind of want to do like something cool, like how Gotenks had the purple and black hair. I'll just say Roman looks like Gohanks, but just a child. And Beta, she looks like Pan with like blonde long hair, not as long as Raditz's, but like it's longer. Yeah, when she goes Super Saiyan, it's just gonna be a eye color change. Anyways, in the kid match, Roman wins because I mean, bro, he's literally just Gohanks. Strategy of Gohan, fighting of Trunks. Well, Gohan can fight too, but like, you get the point. Bro cooked. And he didn't have to go Super Saiyan and cheat like Trunks did in the original. Seeing this only served to piss off Raditz even more, fueling his power of the Majin mark. When Beta finally returned to the stands, warning, if you do not like child being in danger, getting hit and all that, I'll just skip past this part. Anyways, Raditz backhands the taste buds out of Beta. Mind you, Beta was in Super Saiyan because she had to go Super Saiyan just to keep up with Roman. Those eyes went cyan to black immediately once his hand connected. And not wanting to wait any longer, he immediately rushed Bardock. He needed to prove that his blood, he was stronger than Bardock. Kakarot, well, Bardock. Raditz still think it's Kakarot. I don't think that's going to change. Anyways, seeing the way Raditz treated his niece/granddaughter, yeah, this is starting to get weird. Anyways, Bardock would immediately counter his rush. Though before Bardock can do anything further, Raditz burst into Super Saiyan 2. This surprised Bardock. He didn't know Raditz got this much power. The stun was just enough for Raditz to get a good hit in. Mind you, in base right now, Majin Raditz is double of what Bardock was in the Wheelo saga. Android saga, whatever you want to call it. And in Super Saiyan, he's 100 times that. Bardock, who barely trained, basically just been a father this whole time skip, had a power increase as well, but not as drastic as Raditz. Though, just enough to quadruple his power. Yep, he's 2 times stronger than Raditz, and he barely trained. The perks of being a legendary Super Saiyan. So, Bardock just bursts into regular Super Saiyan and matches Raditz effortlessly. Bardock demanded that Raditz explain what was going on right now, but Raditz was too far gone and immediately just started being aggressive with the attacks, to the point where everyone started to get hurt, including his family. To put the powers in perspective, Raditz is literally equal to Majin Vegeta in Super Saiyan 2, having a power level of 6 billion. And Bardock has that power level in regular Super Saiyan. I don't think I gave Legendary Super Saiyan a multiplier, but a lot of sources just say it's like 200 times. So, all that to say, Bardock's really mad right now. And you can kind of guess how this is going. Raditz is doing too much, he's getting people hurt, and his family hurt. He beat his niece / granddaughter, so yeah, Raditz is getting the belt. When Raditz's fists collided with Bardock's cheek, it was unmoving. In a very similar scene when Frieza punched Goku in the resurrection of that movie, Bardock slowly turned his head, looking directly in Raditz's soul. This sent a tremor, shock wave, whatever you want to call it, through Raditz's body. Raditz in that moment knew he was cooked. Bardock roared and transformed into a legendary Super Saiyan once again. And with a single punch, yes, a single punch, Raditz is one-shotted to the ground unconscious. Though, this wasn't over yet. The mere power from the power-up alone was enough energy to summon Boo. That's right, Babidi was gathering energy that entire time, and that's just what he needed to summon Boo. So, Babidi summons Boo, and once he was summoned, himself, Boo, and Dabura teleport to the tournament arena, laughing like they've already won. To put this in perspective, Boo, when he initially came to be, he was relatively close to Majin Vegeta's power, and well, Bardock can one-shot that. So, you know where this is going, right? Without Boo being enraged and powering up or absorbing anyone, Bardock raised one hand and shot a massive ki blast towards Boo, Babidi, and Dabura, and they immediately get eviscerated from the face of the earth. Bardock made sure to disperse the blast before it could destroy the tournament even more. Simultaneously, when Babidi died, the mark on Raditz's forehead disappeared. This showed that Raditz was being mind controlled. Or was he? Well, for now, they think he was just being mind controlled, so they don't really put it against him. Though internally, Raditz knows he was willing to get the power from Babidi so he can beat Bardock. But even with that power boost, even with all that training, he was still behind. And now his daughter fears him. Was it truly worth it? Even Tights giving him the benefit of the doubt, telling their daughter that Daddy was getting mind controlled. None of that helped. Beta fears Raditz. I mean, trembling fear, fears Raditz. And it really hurts. It really hurts Raditz a lot. And honestly, it's his fault, so, Alright, let's guess what happens. A, Raditz does everything in his power to, redeem himself and, not make his daughter fear him even more. B, he flees the planet and goes to train like a true Saiyan warrior, neglecting his family, falling even deeper into the rabbit hole, becoming evil. Woo. Or C, he said sorry. And if you chose B, you are correct. Raditz having enough of being feared, being neglected, quote unquote. He flees the planet. He flees the planet with hatred and guilt and all kinds of negative stuff in his heart. And well, Bardock was just raising Roman and now Beta as well. Tights eventually moved into the Capsule Corp, not wanting to be alone with her daughter. And well, of course, Bulma and Bardock welcomed her with open arms. And well, the time skip to the Battle of Gods happens.
Oh, you got an ass on you, alright, see, that's what he's talking about. Spread your ass open, dude. You can do the rump shaker, huh?